Well, we start with an incident that's been labelled a disgrace to football by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Real Madrid's Champions League win over Benfica was suspended for 10 minutes after Vinicius Junior accused Gianluca Prestiani of racism. The Real Madrid forward has criticised UEFA's protocols and labelled racists as cowards. Well, Vinicius Jr gave Real Madrid the lead with a fantastic strike before celebrating by the corner flag, where he was targeted by objects thrown from the home crowd. Before play restarted, Benfica's Gianluca Prestiani covered his mouth and said something to Vinicius, which caused the Brazilian to react immediately and report the comments to referee François Letexier, who subsequently halted play. Well, this is what Vinicius Jr posted on social media. Racists are, above all, cowards. They need to put their shirts over their mouths to demonstrate how weak they are. But they have, on their side, the protection of others who, theoretically, have the obligation to punish. Nothing that happened here today was new in my life and my family's. I received a yellow card for celebrating a goal. I still don't understand why. On the other hand, just a poorly executed protocol that served no purpose. I don't like appearing in situations like this, even more so after a great victory and when the headlines have to be about Real Madrid, but it's unnecessary. And this is Prestiani's response. I want to clarify that at no time did I direct racist insults to player Vinicius Jr, who regrettably misunderstood what he thought he heard. I was never racist with anyone, and I regret the threats I received from Real Madrid players. Meanwhile, Benfica's official channels have claimed the stadium was too noisy for Real Madrid players to accurately hear what was said. Jose Mourinho has been criticised for his response to the incident. He claimed Benfica could not be a racist club because club legend Eusebio was black. Mourinho, who was sent off later in the game for a separate incident, questioned Vinicius Junior's celebration and insisted Prestiani was, quote, a great lad.
Y he querido ser más equilibrado y más independiente que Álvaro y Kylian. Eu he hablado con Vinicius, Vinicius me dice una cosa, eu he hablado con Prestiani, Prestiani me dice una otra cosa. Yo podría ser rojo y decir solo creo en quello que me ha dicho Prestiani, pero he querido ser equilibrado y decir que en este mundo del fútbol y en las cosas que pasan en la cancha, yo intento ser siempre un poco más equilibrado y no quiero decir Vinicius es un mentiroso y Prestiani es un chico increíble.
Tenéis que preguntarle al jugador del Benfica qué le ha dicho a Vinicius. Yo creo que todos aquí, todos en el mundo del fútbol merecemos que responda a esa pregunta y es todo lo que puedo decir, ¿no? Evidentemente, creo que está claro que la tolerancia con el racismo para nosotros tiene que ser absoluta y no podemos permitir que cosas así pasen en un campo de fútbol en 2026.
Well, several of Vinicius' teammates responded to the incident, with Kylian Mbappe refusing to say Prestiani's name, calling him the number 25 and insisting he doesn't deserve to play in the Champions League, while Trent Alexander-Arnold also spoke to the media after the match. This is what the former Liverpool fullback said. I can't comment too much, as there is probably an ongoing investigation. What's happened tonight is a disgrace to football. It's overshadowed the performance, especially after such an amazing goal. Vinny has been subjected to this a few times throughout his career. There's no place for it in football or society. It's disgusting.
I do think at times I guess it's almost onto the players and their sort of kind of support and reaction. The biggest statement here would have been, you know, it's easy for me to say, isn't it? But because basically it's not me in that situation, but for all of the players to walk out, I would have loved it if both sides had walked off, to make it absolutely clear, because basically someone sooner or later has to make that statement. Imagine that statement going throughout the football. That would surely make people sit up and take notice, because it feels to me at this point that what's gone before hasn't done enough. It hasn't set the tone. It hasn't set the example. And players face like this. Vinicius Junior is a global superstar. He's one of the best players that the world has ever seen, frankly. He's absolutely a genius, and no one deserves this. But I tell you what, to have a high-profile player like that go through this and be targeted like that by opponents and potentially, you know, and then indeed fans, I just think it's sickening and absolutely shocking on all levels, to be honest.
We should be talking about Vinny Junior's magnificent goal. Chops in from the left-hand side onto his favoured right foot, puts it into the far corner. Little bit of magic that we needed in that game, and he's got that in abundance. And then, unfortunately, what followed that, the scenes, the incident from Gianluca Prestiani, the outcome we will see, and then it followed. The referee did a good job in trying to calm it all down. We had a 10-minute break. Towards the end, things being thrown on, unacceptable. When I watch Champions League football, I want to watch quality football in European. And I do not want to be talking about this. Disgusting scenes. Should be talking about the goal.
Yeah, we should, but unfortunately we're not. James, look, it was a dark night for football, you'd have to say. Vinicius Junior really critical of UEFA's anti-racism protocol. So what are they?
Well, this is what triggered it. This is the referee, Francois Letexier. He made this crossed arm gesture, which is something that was brought in 2024 to trigger the anti-racism protocol from UEFA. It's a three-step protocol, which ultimately, if you get to the third step, can lead to the referee abandoning the match. But first things first, once he gets a report of a racist incident, either from a player on the pitch or the fourth official makes him aware of something that's gone on in the stand, then he can stop the match. So that's the first step. And then if it's something that's occurred in the crowd, then there'll be a public announcement. The fans will be urged to stop. Clearly, this is a slightly different incident because it occurred on the pitch, the alleged incident. Now, if this resumes after a second restart, then the referee can abandon the game. That's the third step. The second step would be the game being stopped for 5 to 10 minutes and the players taken off the pitch. Yesterday, we had 10 minutes between the goal being scored and play restarting. And this signal from the referee, as I mentioned, it's something that was only been brought in the last year or so. It's a global crossed arms gesture, the no racism gesture, and it's designed to empower players, referees, officials and fans as well. And it's clear UEFA want to point out there is no room for racism in the game. So we wait to see what happens next, but that's a bit of an explainer as to the anti-racism protocol that UEFA have brought in.
Look, unfortunately, it's not the first time that Vinny Junior has been racially abused, is it?
It's shocking when you actually look at the number of incidents that have occurred, particularly since he's been in Spain, since 2022, in 10 separate Spanish stadiums. He suffered racist abuse. And it reached a point whereby Vinicius Junior gave an interview in 2024 and he said he feels like less and less like playing football because of the incidents that have occurred in recent time. And it has been repeated, and things have gotten to a stage whereby 3 Valencia fans were sent to prison with suspended sentences because of racist abuse at a stadium 2 years ago. And then last year there was an unprecedented ruling where 5 people were given suspended prison sentences for racist abuse. And that was seen as unprecedented because it was the first time that in a Spanish court they judged racism and racist abuse in stadiums as a hate crime as well. So it shows that they are making some progress in Spain when it comes to trying to eradicate racism, but clearly alleged incidents like last night means and shows there's still plenty of work that needs to be done.
OK, let's get more on Vinicius Junior's racism allegation following the incident with Gianluca Prestiani and Real Madrid's 1-0 win in Benfica in the Champions League last night. Well, Vinny Jr gave Real Madrid the lead with a fantastic strike before celebrating by the corner flag, where he was targeted by objects thrown from the home crowd. Before play restarted, Benfica's Gianluca Prestiani covered his mouth and said something to Vinicius, which caused the Brazilian to react immediately and report the comments to referee Francois Letexier, who subsequently halted play. Prestiani denies the accusations. Well, after the match, Benfica head coach Jose Mourinho downplayed the incident and was critical of Vinicius Junior's celebration, asking why he didn't celebrate like Pelé or Eusebio.
Álvaro ha optado por una perspectiva diferente. Kylian ha optado por una perspectiva differente. Io non quiero entrar por ahí. L'unica cosa che digo io è che passa in tantos estadios, sempre con lo mismo. Hay alguna cosa que no va. Yo a Vinicius en el campo yo le he dicho, tú marcas un gol de otro mundo. ¿Por qué celebras así? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué no celebras como celebraba Di Stefano, Pelé, Eusébio. Por que não celebras gol solo com a alegria de seres jogador de outro mundo? Passa sempre com o mesmo. É a única coisa que não me entra.
Vinicius in 2024 in an interview said, if it happens again, I'm just going to walk off the pitch. You know, he's told people what's going to happen. He said, I'm going to need to take my own stand because I don't feel like football is doing enough for me. So if it happens again, I walk. It happened again. He said, you know, he tells the referee it's happened again and he walks. In that situation, I would have liked Real Madrid's players to walk off with him and say, no, we won't come back until that player is substituted. You know, you can say, well, that changes the dynamic of the game. So what? Football doesn't matter on a Tuesday night in the Champions League if it is allowed to take precedent over an incident of racial abuse. You just feel for Vinny. He will be sat there tonight thinking, well, what else do I have to do? You know, this is 1, 2, 3 times. You know, once is never, twice is always. It's happened 3 times. What does that mean? Can I ever trust to go on a pitch again in this competition and not be abused?
This is not, as you say, the first time it's happened to Vinicius. He's been sent off twice, I think, in Spain for instance after being racially abused during the game. Honestly, what on earth are we thinking about here? Trent Alexander-Arnold describing it as a disgrace to football, I think, afterwards. Honestly, if this doesn't shine a light and really shame football and shame it into really taking stronger action against the perpetrators, against the people that do that, then really, I don't know where we are, because we're in a World Cup year and a strong message absolutely has to be sent out after this absolutely shocking, disgraceful episode.
Well, in the last few minutes, UEFA have released this statement. The official reports from the matches played last night are currently being reviewed. Where matters are reported, proceedings are open, and should they lead to disciplinary sanctions being imposed, they are announced on the UEFA disciplinary website. We have no further information to provide you or any further comment to make on this matter at this stage.